As I was saying, in 1998, Star met Solomon, the angel son of the root of David, in Flatbush, the same Flatbush where Star grew up playing basketball in places like Miss Ruby Yard on East 32nd Street between Clarendon and Cortelyou. Then he would venture down to Forster Park, which is known as Heaven as a Playground, and see the likes of Juice and Ice, which then made him try out for the Brownsville Jets. Hence, that was his first team, and he was selected by Jocko to be a lottery pick. And the prize for that was being invited to a banquet with Pearl Washington. So him and Jocko's son was lottery picks, and his first game was in Philadelphia against Philly, hence Brooklyn versus Philly. Then from there, he played for the great Gil Reynolds, the legendary Hall of Fame coach Gil Reynolds. And if you know anything about Gil, that means he had practice every day, because if you didn't practice, you couldn't play. And he would have you practice in Left Rack City right before he would do a one-on-one workout with Kenny Anderson. If not, he would have you practice in Bed-Stuy right before you do a one-on-one workout with Charles Jones. In other words, playing for Gil, Star was in many, many, many different gyms. And then even in his late 20s, while working for a brokerage firm, the talk of the firm was who is a better player, him or Kyrie Irving's dad. So they both spoke to each other, talked their talk. So he found out that Kyrie Irving's dad played for Boston University. What he didn't know was Kyrie Irving's dad had his number retired, and he also played professional. So Kyrie's dad invited him to come to Rod Strickland neighborhood, where the gym was packed with a bunch of Rucker players, including Big Strick, who used to play for the Knicks. So it had Rod Strickland's brother who could play well, a bunch of Rucker players, and then one day the games ended early, and Star finally got to play Kyrie Irving dad one-on-one, because that was the whole purpose of going there. But guess who entered into the gym? Kyrie himself. And then his dad said, I got to stop because it's Sunday and it's daddy duties. In other words, Star continued getting up early to go to gyms. He even went to Mega Evers gym and in his late 30s. And from there, he was like, he's just tired of getting up early on Sundays. Until 3 weeks ago, when he entered into the LA Fitness gym. And as soon as he entered, he realized that he should have brought his basketball. So he picked up a basketball, not knowing who it was. So he walked to the other side of the court. Next thing you know, he looked back, he sees this guy looking for a basketball. But guess what the guy was wearing? The guy was wearing women's clothing, like a halter top or whatever top they have where you're showing off your hair chest with some tight flipping pants. And Star was like, I hope this is not his ball. And guess who ball it was? It was his. So anyway, Star had to hand him his ball. Next thing you know, Star calls next, not knowing that the guy's going to come back to play. Not knowing the guy's going to play right before Star. Hence, Star saw the guy won, because the guy's like 6'4", 6'5", wearing women's clothes, but he's crashing the boards. He's driving hard to the rim. He's playing hard. So his team won. So guess who has to play him? Star. Is that where he leaves? He's like, he got up early. It was a Sunday morning. It was freezing. So he's like, I might as well play. So while playing, as soon as he got on the court, he's like, yo, I got him. Not referring to him. He made sure that he picked someone else except him. And they blew them out, 11-3. Then the guy stayed in the gym. So he had to, when he Star kept winning, the guy comes back on. This time, it's a close game. And this time, in the first game, Star didn't have any contact with him. The most Star said was one of his teammates called foul for him. So Star was like, yo, you can't call foul for him. Let him call. He has to call. You understand? So anyway, they was up 9-8, and Star was like, game 11. He drove past Star's teammate. He was about to make a layup, so Star fouled him. So that was the only time Star touched him, because it was, what's worse, playing with a T or losing to a T? And don't forget, Star is from Flatbush. And if you know anything about Flatbush, you should know this.
On this next episode of Why Do People Keep Calling Me a Batty Boy, we're inside Brooklyn's gritty Caribbean uncle, Flatbush. Pause. Home to dollar cabs, beef patties, potholes, homophobic Jamaicans in see-through tank tops, and more jerk chicken than your arteries can handle. This neighborhood is a cultural maze where Caribbean, Latinos, and everything brown collide with the same energy as a reggae versus soca dance-off on Eastern Parkway. Flatbush isn't for the faint of heart. It's where dancehall flyers have more logos than an NBA jersey, and there's enough.
This Flatbush is a place where no man fi say success. So let's see what God says. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up the people as they eat bread? They have not called upon God. There were they in great fear, where no fear was. For God hath scattered the bones of him that encampeth against thee. Thou hast put them to shame, because God has despised them. Oh, that the salvation of Israel will come out of Zion, when God bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob, whom is God. And because in Psalm 135, will let you know Jacob is God. And God let it be known that everyone, he let it be known this: as days shall come, truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith, but iniquity shall be increased, which now thou seest, that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest, the Most High grant thee to live, after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And the Sodomotish sea shall cast out fish. Hence, no more of their confusion, because he's letting you know at the end, everyone will die. So first, Jesus will die, or appear to die in the sight of man. Because remember, man could only put man to rest. But God is the one who decides who gets to live forever. So as it says, his son Jesus will be revealed with those that be with him. After those years shall his son Christ die, and all men that have life. In other words, Jesus is not Christ. And the real Christ would die a week before everyone in the world would die. And the world shall be turned into the old silent 7 days, like as in the former judgments. Remember, God took 7 days to create the world. So after those 7 days shall be brought up, and the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her. In other words, the righteous shall come back to live. So when Star was playing against that guy, he was looking at him and was like, yo, why do you choose death over life? Because at the end of the times, when ever living life starts back, he won't be there unless he won't be there dressed up as a woman. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. In other words, he better watch himself. Because remember, in the beginning, it was this.
If the first man were white,
Class is in session.
the yellow man couldn't even get here.
Tell them why.
Because two white people cannot produce anything other than what they are.
Hello. So who made life? This is the book of the generations of Adam, the day that God created man. In the likeness God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, the day when they were in the day when they were created. In other words, Adam means couple. So from the beginning, God wanted male and female to be together. Not doing this.
The basketball niggas with D Wade.
No. Oh. Ew.
Teaching Zaya how to dribble. With his ass.
Hello. So imagine you go in the gym and you see some dude, 6'4", 6'5" dude looking half Asian, half white, playing hard. Next thing you know, you might say something like this.
Literally almost done fish.
From here, so if I have batty man, you shouldn't even come from side with that store.
Man saying literally almost nearly turned fish. Me don't know what them a boy have drink or eat, but something when these boys see camera.
But looks so weird. No man, no my father sing boom bye bye.
So your father sing boom bye bye, me sure him not gonna be happy about this. He must go this one to Bamba.
Hope not. You know what I mean? But
I was cheating in prison.
What?
Yes, man, put cocky pan in bread. Batty boy! I was cheating in prison.
Can see man of you would have murdered another one. And then you take lightning and bust in blood.
Hello, follow God, not man.